Guys, Fortnite's first ever first-person 5v5 footer mode is finally in Fortnite. Man, was that a mouthful. Their brand new Ballistic mode was just released, I guess yesterday at the time that this was posted, and this is my full thoughts, my review of Fortnite Ballistic overall. And to be honest with you guys, I have mixed feelings about that, but we'll get into that a little bit later. I'll give you my final consensus of this mode at the end of the video. But first off, what I have to say is that I love that Fortnite is actually trying to do something different. Now, different in the context of Fortnite, because obviously we've seen games in the format of this before, like CSGO, Valorant, etc. This format of game is not new to the gaming industry, I guess, but it is very, very new to Fortnite, and first person has been something that players have fantasized about for a very long time. I think the first time we saw an accidental glimpse of Fortnite first person was in the Chapter 2 Season 2 device event, where a player accidentally glitched into first person, and ever since then, it's been completely up in the air when this was going to release, and it seems like all of a sudden they just threw it at us, but I'm really, really happy that we are seeing first person in Fortnite finally. Now, my first impression of this game when I first logged on, I posted it on my community tab immediately. Make sure you guys keep an eye out on that tab because I do feature comments from there every once in a while, but I said that it is a shameless Valorant copycat, and that is honestly what it is. Even though it is a good mode, it's fun, it's very half-baked, but it is a Valorant copycat, almost to a T. The UI where it says victory and defeat feels like Valorant. The flex gadgets feel like Valorant. Everything kind of feels like that's what they used as their base, I guess, as a template for this, which is really, really interesting. I understand where they were going with it, but to be honest, I don't necessarily see a reason to play this mode right now over Valorant, and that's pretty obvious why. Valorant is a full-fledged, completely different game that is based around this mode, and this is an early access version of the first time Epic Games has ever done anything with first person, so that does make sense. But right now, especially with the flex gadgets in comparison to the different types of characters that they have in Valorant, also with the cosmetics that they have, and just the uniqueness about Valorant just isn't comparable to Fortnite Ballistic at all whatsoever at this point, but I do expect that to get better overall. Now, the gameplay. Now, this is going to be a bit of a different perspective for me because I am on controller and I'm on console, but overall it wasn't that bad of an experience, and it wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be when I played my first game. My first couple games of this were really, really rough with bugs and glitches, and it was just really bad. So I took a break from it, and then I came back on, and my second time around was a lot more fun. Now, there are some settings that I don't think a lot of people know about. If you go into your settings and go to game UI, there's actually two first person settings where you can choose not to show recoil, and you can also show not to show bloom, which I think those are game changers. Your cursor isn't shaking around the whole time while you're trying to shoot, and also you're not being shown your bloom all the time, which can be a little bit distracting for me in particular. So go ahead and turn those off, guys. See if you like them. But overall, there's not many settings in terms of things that you can change with this. I mean, custom reticles would be possible on, PC or something like that, but I think that would be really cool to see some more customization options for first-person Fortnite. First-person Fortnite in general has a lot of potential, and I'm really excited to see where they go with it, but this is just not a very good first impression. And if anything is evident, especially in video games, is that first impressions are very, very important, and they should have worked on this a lot more than they did. This is super half-baked. It feels like it was barely worked on, and right now it just feels like a glorified creative map made by Epic Games, which obviously people are not gonna like. They don't like that creative map vibe. For it to be really taken seriously, I think people are gonna have to see it as a separate game mode. You know what I mean? This is a separate game, not even a game in Fortnite. It needs to feel like a different game, and I feel like it does to a certain extent, but like I said, it still feels like a copycat of other games. The buying system, the UI, the shield, the flex gadgets, everything just feels like they took it from Valorant, and I don't think people are going to like that. Now, let's get into the biggest problem with Fortnite Ballistic, and this is obviously a subset of this being early access. This is something that I expected, but really not in the quantity that it actually is, and bugs and glitches are absolutely horrible in this mode, and sometimes make it completely unplayable. First off, when I first got into Fortnite, I didn't even see Ballistic as a mode. As soon as I woke up, I looked up, I got on Twitter, I said, what are people saying about this? Because I woke up a little late. I wanted to see what people were saying about it, and the first thing I see is Fortnite status saying that there's matchmaking issues with Fortnite Ballistic already, immediately, which that is expected because it is, a new style of game. It's a shooter game, completely something new. First person in Fortnite for the first time. It's very hype, but I wasn't expecting people to literally not be able to get in for an hour after it released. issues. So I didn't expect there to be so much initial issues, but like I said before, I loaded up the game finally, and I literally did not see it as even an option, like a game mode to play, like it wasn't even released yet. There wasn't a countdown or anything, and that is really, really weird. I don't know what caused that or why that would even happen, but I literally didn't even see Fortnite Ballistic on Fortnite, like it hadn't been released yet. It was really weird. I had to wait like 30 minutes for it to actually show up on my game after restarting it a few times. So right then and there, I knew that this probably wasn't going to be a great release day for this, and it kind of made me feel like it wasn't necessarily ready yet. Now, next after that, the game literally freezes. Like me and my duo, we literally would get into a game and we'd just be stuck there. Like we couldn't move, we could look around, we could switch our weapons, nothing would happen. You know, we wouldn't actually switch them. We could switch them like down below in our like loadout, but we couldn't actually like see them changing on our character. We would be like floating in the air. No one would be able to damage us, so the game would never end. Like we're floating and we're just standing there, stuck there, and nobody can harm us, nobody can kill us, so the game just kind of goes on and on and on. And also, weapons being invisible or not being able to shoot weapons was something that happened to me a lot. Like even when I was able to move around, there were a lot of times where my weapon would be invisible and I was able to shoot, but then there were also times where it was invisible and I wasn't able to shoot. And then there were times where I could see my gun, but I still wasn't able to shoot. So there are a lot of bugs and glitches with Fortnite Ballistic at the moment right now, and they definitely need to fix them. Of course, I'm sure they will be fixed. It's an early access mode. They know that it's not going to be it's not going to be completely polished. I expected that, but I really did not expect like game-breaking bugs like there are in the game right now, where you're literally not able to move when you load in. Now, another thing are the flex gadgets, and the flex gadgets, I'm not going to lie, they're not very good. Like the impulse grenade, I just don't see a need for that unless you're trying to like get away from some people really fast, or like get people out into the open, like get them out of a hiding spot or something like that. But even then, the impulse grenade just really doesn't work in this mode, and I'm not really sure why they added something like that over, you know, like the boogie bomb or something. That would have been much more useful as a flex gadget than the impulse grenade. The flashbang is absolutely insane. I saw a lot of people on Twitter talking about how it was overpowered and it needs to be nerfed. Like, you guys, I guess these are people who've never played anything except for Fortnite, but flashbangs are always kind of broken. So I kind of expected that. Flashbangs are crazy. The best combination in the game is the bubble grenade with the combination of a smoke grenade. If you're going to plant the rift point device, I keep calling it the spike because that's what it's called in Valorant, but if you go to plant the rift point device and you throw down a bubble grenade, throw down a smoke, you're good. Like, you're gonna get that down in like 2 seconds. Now, this is another thing, and it's not necessarily the fault of Fortnite Ballistic. It's literally just because Fortnite players have never played a game like this before. It's very clear that not many of my teammates or people that I've played against have played like Valorant or CSGO, because sometimes people won't grab the rift point device. People just run around trying to kill everyone like it's a team deathmatch. And while that does work, it's more of a like strategy based shooter, and you're kind of missing the point of it if you don't go after the rift point device and do everything that you would normally do in games like these. Another thing too is that it needs more maps, and that's gonna happen. Like I said, early access, we knew there was only gonna be one map. I'm not really sure if they should have released this right now. I understand that they wanted like multiple modes to come in with this new chapter and everything. I understand why they did that, but I don't really think that this was ready to be released overall. It is super duper fun. I had a lot of fun with it, more fun than I didn't have fun. I can't really have much fun when I'm frozen in place and can't do anything, but it still was fun, and it has so much potential. So does like first person shooting, first person in Fortnite in general has so much potential for like Call of Duty style maps. I know people were actually getting like DMCA like copyright strikes for creating like Call of Duty based maps, which is crazy. I would have never expected that to happen, to be honest. I would have expected Epic Games to get them, not the actual creators, but that's a different topic for another day. Overall, Fortnite Ballistic is really interesting. Like, that's a good word. It's very interesting. It's intriguing, and I'm definitely going to continue to play it. Obviously, it's not on the level of CSGO and Valorant, games that have been out for years, CSGO for decades, if we're talking about that one, but those games are much more polished, so I think comparing it to that is unfair to an extent, but this is definitely a Valorant copycat, and they definitely use that as a sort of template. But of course, guys, this is always just my opinion, and that is my full thoughts and review of Fortnite Ballistic on day one. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. I'd love to hear what you have to say. If you could, also go down below, drop a like, subscribe to the channel. Also, go out of your way to put code Prozeroyt in the Fortnite item shop, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.